Hey coaches, this is Devin here. It's day 8 of our Glitz Goals training. I hope you all had a wonderful first week of training and really have learned a lot so far as far as recruiting and posting and adding to your team. I hope the tips that we've shared with you have helped you when you're inviting and when you're putting yourself out there, because ultimately recruiting is going to be the main thing that helps move your business forward. And there's a lot of different aspects that come into recruiting, but I'm hoping that, by the end of this training and by the end of this group that you're super comfortable with it, your team is soaring, and that you're always adding new coaches every single month. So today we're going to still talk about recruiting because we do have our coaching event this Wednesday that we're inviting to, and we want to make sure there's a ton of people in this event, you guys. The more people, the better, because when you see that energy from different people asking questions and putting their comments in and having aha moments, and even some people finally seeing the light that is Beachbody coaching, you'll see that in these groups, but that's not going to happen if we don't invite to it. So make sure that you're inviting to this group all week, that you're posting about it, and that you're really putting yourself out there and sharing how awesome Beachbody coaching is. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about recruiting again. And I just want to go over a few different things that will help you and kind of piggyback off of what we've already been talking about this last week. So just a few tips that I know we've talked about here and there, but I want to lay them out here again just to help you get a clean slate for this week. But think about when you're posting on social media, think about how you portray yourself. I think that's the main thing that we kind of keep in focus here, because when people stumble across your Facebook page or stumble across your like page, they're gonna scroll through and maybe see your first 3 to 5 posts. So look at those first 3 to 5 posts. If it's your personal page, obviously have a lot of personal stuff mixed in there. It doesn't have to all be Beachbody. But make sure that the posts that they see are not super negative or something that would turn somebody off from wanting to follow you. So think of, would you want to follow you? If you were an outsider looking in at your timeline or, at your posts and that type of thing, would you want to follow you? So make sure that you're thinking about that with everything that you post. And then, would you want to join you on your team? Are you portraying your Beachbody team as awesome and fun and exciting? Are you posting about all the opportunities that you have had and also your coaches have had? Talking about your team morale. What drives your team? What is your team? For myself, it's inspire greatness. I'm a really goofy person, so that's kind of how I portray my team. I want to make sure that people know that we have fun and, that we're making a difference and that we just love doing it. So that's kind of how I want to portray my team. But think about your team. You might not want to be exactly like that, but make sure that you're putting it out there so that people know, they see what they're going to get with you type of thing. You kind of want to think of your posts as a sneak peek that's just going all the time. So yes, we're going to have this event Wednesday night where we're going to have people on asking questions. We're going to be posting and that type of thing. But think about the time leading up to it. What can you post about that's going to let them know more and more about Beachbody coaching? The freedom, the income, the opportunity, meeting new friends, gaining confidence, working on personal development, having extra accountability, getting your dream body. Things like that all ties into coaching, but you can share that throughout your day. You get a random message from someone who's been following you saying, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your post today. I totally related to that." Or, you check into your challenge groups and you see somebody just totally rocking it, up at 6 a.m. every day, getting their workout in, drinking their Shakeology. Highlight those people. Give coach shout outs. If there's somebody on your team that is a total rock star, they've hit Success Club already, their posts are awesome, highlight that coach. Give them a shout out on social media. That's the best thing you can do, because other people are going to see that you're not only highlighting a coach on your team for the work they've done, but also that your team is booming and that you're making a difference. So, be excited about what you're doing. Think about the things that you can pinpoint and point out to people that they might not know about or even hear about. And don't be afraid to do it often, you guys, because for one, you might think everybody sees all your posts all day long and they're going to get annoyed or sick of them. Not the case, because Facebook basically chooses who sees your post anyway, and it's not always going to be the same person, and everybody's on at different times. So don't be afraid to put it out there and to be consistent about it. At least once a day, you need to be talking about coaching. So Like I said, think of your posts as a sneak peek, spread them out, sprinkle them out throughout your day. I don't know if you've read the book Jab, Jab, Right Hook, but basically these posts, these like teaser posts, are little jabs. Like my paycheck paid for my tires on my car this week when we blew a tire. Or like I mentioned in my other video, like, oh my gosh, I get to go get my nails done today because I have some extra fun money. Or, and for myself, my daughter's birthday party was this weekend, and I paid for all the decorations and the cake and the food with money I would have made from Beachbody. So, those are those little jabs that you can talk about and just kind of highlight throughout your week. They don't have to be super long posts that go along with them. But highlight those little jabs so that when it does come time to put out that big opportunity post where it's a call to action, message me or comment below or fill out my application, that all those posts kind of give it some ammunition leading up to it. And then that right hook is going to be that big opportunity post where you put a lot more time and effort and add a lot more value and really think of how you can connect with your audience and have them be like, wow, I feel that same way too. Like maybe I should look into this. So you gotta make sure that you're consistently posting like that, because that's what's gonna give you the fuel to your fire once you put that opportunity post out there. So keep that in mind. And think about, who you're posting to and who you want to invite on your team. So, it really actually starts with your challenge groups. Look in your challenge groups. If you have someone who's doing awesome, make sure to tell them they're doing awesome and just say, hey, you know what? You're doing so great in this group. You're so motivating. I love seeing your posts. They keep me in my, accountability going. Have you ever thought about coaching? I just think you'd be really great at it. What do you think? Something super simple like that is not one, it's going to make their day. But two, it's going to just make them think more about coaching. And maybe they'll be like, oh my gosh, maybe I should give this a try. Or maybe they want to pay it forward because they've gotten awesome results, whatever it is. Look at your challengers and see if there's anybody that really sticks out that you can invite to coaching. Secondly, friends and family, I know that can be kind of awkward because you don't want to have them feel like you're pushing them into something or that they're going to be a target for you to invite all the time. Don't make it seem like that, because this is your job. This is something you're super excited about, you're passionate about it, and that's all it is. So if you have friends or family that you think, maybe want to either join your challenge group or maybe even join your team, let them know. I know, like I said, it can be a little bit harder to talk to friends and family about it, but I think of it as, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't reach out to, especially a friend who I care about more than somebody random, to join my team, because maybe this is the opportunity that they've been looking for, but they're too afraid to say something to you. You just never know. So make sure that you're always putting it out there with people that you want to add on your team. Do it genuinely, do it with heart, but you just never know who's going to say yes. And then lastly, forming relationships. I know this is something that we all have been talking about this last week, and it does take a little extra time to do this, but the outcome is totally worth it. If you are friending people on Facebook you've never met, but you just have mutual friends, take some time to just go on their timeline. Maybe set a little part of your power hour where you just go through all your recently added friends. There's actually a little tab for it on Facebook that'll show you all your recently added friends. And then go through and then go to their timeline, like on a couple of their posts, or maybe add a comment here or there. Or if you're at the point where you can send them a quick message and just say, hey, I saw your post the other day. I loved the jacket you were wearing. Where did you get it? I've been looking for one like that forever. Simple. Think about how you can reach out to these new people you're adding to your network to make them your warm market. Because when it comes time to invite, or when they start seeing your posts consistently, they're not only going to see your posts and see what you're doing, but they might reach out to you at that point. Or if they don't, when you reach out to them, it's going to make a lot more sense and it's not going to be so awkward. So always be forming those relationships and making those contacts and making sure that people are seeing you in their newsfeed. So your assignment today, sorry, this got a little long-winded, is to list out all of your favorite things about coaching, whether it's the income, the accountability, the freedom, the camaraderie or the friends that you meet, or the trips you go on, or the prizes you get for hitting Success Club every month. Whatever it is, start listing all those things out and start formulating posts around those things. You should at least be able to get 5 to 10 different things that you love about coaching. And that can be 5 to 10 different posts that you just have ready to go. And then sprinkle them in throughout your days, this week and the next couple weeks, so that you always have at least one post per day that talks about some perk of coaching. And this little exercise will give you some ideas and give you posts that you can use ahead of time so that you can plan out where you're not having to scramble last minute and think of something. So that's your assignment today. Make that list, formulate some posts around those things, and then post throughout the day. Put some in the morning, put some in the afternoon, early evening, nighttime. Typically those big opportunity posts or big challenge group posts do really well Sunday through Wednesday nights between like 8 and 9 p.m. But that's not always the case for everybody. Some do really, really well at like 4 p.m. or whatever it is, but you need to kind of pay attention to see when you get more traction on your posts too. But make sure you're sprinkling them in every day, that you're being consistent about it, and that you're not afraid to put yourself out there and show that sneak peek of coaching on your timeline, because that's what's going to draw people in, get them interested, and then they'll see that big right hook post and they're going to want to at least join your sneak peek. So I hope this helps you guys today. Please post below any questions you have or anything, and then throughout the day we'll still try to post some different examples and ideas that will hopefully spark some creativity for you and help you post or formulate some posts to put out there. So hope you're having a great Monday. Let us know if we can help, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.